So here I've got the Echo RB-60 fertilizer spreader. I'm going to go ahead and open it up and let's take it out and test it. It sounds like it does a great job. However, a lot of people online were saying that the agitator doesn't do a good job of getting that seed out of the hopper to be spread once you get, to the low amounts of seed sitting in the hopper. There's two fixes I want to try. One of them involves using some zip ties, and the other one involves an aftermarket 3D printed agitator that's better than the original one that I got off of Amazon. So I want to try both of those out if indeed that does prove to be a problem. Let's go ahead and open it up, take a look at what we've got. Just got to simply pull it all out as one assembly and we'll put it together real quick. So there's the agitator that I was talking about, and it sounds like the issue is when there's not a lot of seed in the hopper here, basically this agitator just sits too high. You see it's more than 1 finger height off the bottom there, so a lot of seeds will just sit down here. So a couple options I've seen online is you can take some zip ties and tie it around there, obviously cut them to length, and it'll help just kind of stir up and agitate the seeds down there. And then I also got this, which is an aftermarket agitator, 3D printed, which is bigger and apparently sits a little lower, and hopefully one of those two will fix it. I'm gonna try them both out just so you can see how they both work, but we'll check that out here in a second. Let's look over the rest of the spreader first. Nice, good quality handlebars here. Good tension to control the opening in the bottom of the hopper. Happy with that. It's got rubber tires, okay, and they're already inflated. That's awesome. It's gonna be way, way better than your standard Scott spreader with the plastic wheels on them that are open on the inside. And you end up getting a lot of the fertilizer, things like that, stuck in there and thrown around. Okay, there's the actual seed thrower, spreader, what have you. Gears right here. All right, pretty happy with all that. You can open this and close this. There you go. So you can open this if you want to have a full kind of spray pattern, or you can close this kind of like an edge guard if you're going around your driveway. So that's pretty awesome. Super easy to operate once you figure it out, and very minimal stuff to break there. So that seems like that's going to work pretty well. And that's pretty much it. And that looks pretty good. You can really see it hitting everywhere. Now there's the full open spray pattern, and it throws that seed out probably a solid 8 to 10 foot pattern. All right, let's do a little test now with the edge guard down, going right up against the edge of my driveway. By the way, don't ever get a driveway that has the oyster shells in it like this. It's a nightmare. As you see, they all chip off and break off, and every time you blow off your driveway, they end up in your lawn, but I digress. All right, so let's test this out here. It's gonna be kind of tough with all the dust coming off the line, but if you can see it, it's spreading basically just to the edge of the driveway and not going over. You can see it right there. The agitator's just skipping above everything, and that's it. The only way to really get it down there is by tipping it or doing the old spreader hop there to shake it down in there. So let's go try some of the fixes. The fix number one involves putting these zip ties around the agitator, and then hopefully they'll kind of sit down there enough and spin it around. We'll see if that actually works. I saw that online, so let's go check it out. Yeah, that seems to work quite a bit better. Definitely agitating it and getting it moving around, so I'm happy with that. So the next option is going to be to remove this agitator. Don't know, but I assume you just pull it out. Well, that came off, so note to self, put the zip ties on a little tighter if you're going to do that. All right, let's see how this attaches. Okay, you can see how the agitator attaches right there. Basically, just right, have to get those pushed in a little bit, and then it pulls up. So let's give that a shot. Yep, I got it. You just got to basically put one hand down in the bottom of the hopper, pull on this, it will come out. Really didn't even mess it up. And then you're left with this spine in there, and I'm just going to put the replacement right over top of that. So just a little side-by-side comparison. This is the original. Here is the replacement. You can see it's wider, and it's going to sit lower when I match these up from there to there. You can see that it's going to sit lower in the hopper, which is going to make it agitate more. So let's go ahead and put it in. All right, and to put it in, just going to put it right over that spline there, and then push firmly down until you hear the click. There we go. And she's on there. Let's make sure she works as we rotate the wheels. Yep. All right, now for the final bit, let's see how she works at getting that last little bit out. Okay, really happy with that. Okay, so my final thoughts on the RB-60, really my first impressions on it are that it's awesome. Totally like it. Paid about 150 bucks for it through Home Depot. It's got everything you want. Nice, good, solid tires. It's got the edge guard right here. Nice big 60-pound hopper. Everything seems sturdy about it. The one complaint from everybody was that the original agitator just sat too high and didn't really, agitate up the fertilizer so it could be spread. So I put this replacement in there. I got for $19.99 off of Amazon, and took about 1 minute to install once I figured it out. And there's directions on the Amazon page there, and it works great. So very happy with that. Definitely recommend that over the zip ties, but if you want to save yourself 20 bucks, the zip ties seem like they'll work just as well. So again, RB-60, definitely worth it. Go ahead and get yourself the aftermarket agitator, and you'll be happy with that.